Hi everyone, how you doing today? Let's talk about the new normal. Let's talk about going back to work with this new normal and these restrictions, because we are literally weeks out from being able to go back, and this is the time that we have to activate. This is the time that we really have to start to focus on what we're going to do going back. And I'm working with my students in 4 groups right now. So let me tell you what groups I put everybody into and why. At the very beginning stages of Sue Bryce education, possibly one of the biggest programs we have is the 12-week startup. And that is about building a folio you love, and ultimately, in parallel, you're building a brand that you really love also. So we work from my business model, but we work with multiple genres of portrait, and everybody has a different idea of what their superpower is and also how they want to set up their business regardless of where you live, what state, what country, whether you're breaking new ground, whether you're in a big city and you want to focus on headshots or personal branding. There is a market for everybody, and everybody really is drawn to different styles of genre and different demographics, and that's why portraiture can be tailored just to suit you and what you love to shoot. Now, during this time, you may be forced to shoot something you have not shot before. So the folio builders were really just in that learning stage. A lot of them are still holding down part-time or full-time employment. A lot of them are at home with their children, men and women, working part-time on their brand. And so everybody's coming into the folio build at a different level. So the folio builders are really going to just refocus on getting models. And if you really want to start to break down the 12 weeks, now is the time for you to start charging towards it. And I'd love you to focus on the finding models segment, because you will be able to shoot for your folio under restrictions. So you've got to find models and you've got to book them in, and you've got to make sure that you're communicating your liability and your restrictions. We're going to talk about that more. So then I put everybody else into the startup zone. Sorry, the second group is the startup zone. They had gone through the 12-week startup, sometimes twice or even 3 times. The 12-week startup is huge, so it's something you have to revisit, and you're working for mastery. So it's okay to revisit those big 12 steps, and especially the steps that you are weakest on: designing your brand, social media, your blogging, startup selling, interim packages, and of course the dreaded pricing, because we have to price ourselves in order to sell ourselves. The third group, so the startup group, they just started to sell. A lot of them were starting to gain an average sale and starting to get some consistency in their marketing and networking when this hit. So they're a step up from the folio builders. They've built a quality folio that they can start to sell. And so for the startups, they have to reactivate all of their clients that they were just getting. But the startups, they they're going through something a little bit different than the intermediate. The startups were just finding their confidence selling and marketing. So I'm going to watch the startups go back to selling. And I'm going to keep the startups very focused on value and not discounts or guilt selling or shame selling, because as we go back in a downturned economy or an economy that's coming back up, we're going to be really moved by people's stories and boo-hoo and can you give me a discount? And it's very important for the startup people that they're coming from a place of value, because they're just mastering selling. They're just getting comfortable. In fact, not comfortable yet selling. So I've got to keep my eye on you guys to make sure that you're not just going back to that cheap shoot and burn model that you know is not sustainable and it's not going to work. So let me help you through that. The intermediate level is my established studios, usually around the 3 to 5 years. They've got a consistent average, usually anywhere from $1,600 to $2,800, average sale. They were getting a consistent average. Their marketing was, out there, networking was established. I'm reactivating all of the intermediates. They have to get their clients back. So you really have to focus on communicating that you're going to do this under restrictions, that you'll be safe. So for the startup and the intermediate, I want you to really focus on the genres you can shoot during this interim or during this restriction period. So think of it like this. Newborn and maternity are going to be a little bit hot right now because I don't want to sign liability waivers for a newborn baby or a pregnant woman. So we're going to have to make some very smart decisions to keep our businesses safe and make sure that we're safe, but more importantly, to make sure that the pregnant women and the newborn babies are safe, right? Because we don't want to endanger the lives of anybody and be blamed or worse, sued for that, or even worse, to have on our conscience that we got somebody sick. So when we work within the restrictions, we're going to have to work with those rules and make sure that we are protected and safe. So that's very, very important. I want you to focus on right now where you can shoot, what genres you can shoot. So find out the restrictions for your city, town, state, country right now. Find out when hairdressers will be going back, because if they can do hair, then we can activate our hair and makeup artists to do hair. But for a period of time, there's going to be no makeup, and that's fine. For those that offer hair and makeup, I have a wonderful solution for you. We have created the makeup studio guide, and we're flipping it into a client guide now so that you can coach and train your clients through this period to help them get ready for your shoots. This month's training is focused on Zoom presentations. We are going to Zoom into the new normal. We're going to get very familiar doing our consultations and our sales screen shared on Zoom. We're going to prepare our clients. We're going to help them with styling, with hair and makeup. And then we are going to find outdoor or open locations that we can shoot in. So really focus on those genres. The fourth group that I've separated in my members group is the Interim Shooters. So we've got a lot of people joining us right now that have been shooting other genres, maybe weddings, events, newborns, maternity, that really have to flip into portraiture, especially over the next maybe 6 to 12 weeks or longer. So if your events are cancelled, your big groups are cancelled, your weddings are cancelled, you have the opportunity to shoot beautiful contemporary portraits, smaller family groups, headshots and personal branding. Okay, high demand headshots and personal branding, absolutely the highest Google searched words for photography in the world. You have the opportunity to create packages right now. And even if you have not offered these packages before, what you're going to learn is that it's a little bit of a tweak in your packaging. It's a little bit of a tweak in your pricing, but the same selling and the same value applies. And also it's a little bit of a tweak in your marketing because it's not event-based marketing, which means you have to entice people and offer them this service package and experience, which you might not really have to do when you're selling weddings. I shot 103 weddings in the first third of my 30-year career. I remember what it was like taking calls for wedding inquiries based on date and price. And it was a really big shift when I created my portrait studio as solely a portrait studio. I was always putting my marketing out to get portrait clients. So there is always a way forward. The challenges you are faced with right now are finding places you can shoot, working within the restrictions, making sure that you, your clients, and your liability in business are safe during this time. It's about finding a way to bridge your income, stay connected to the clients that had to pause whatever they had to pause, and making sure that you can move forward. You only have a few weeks to prepare, so I want you to sit down and really look at what genres can I offer, what packages can I offer, how can I price them, where can I shoot them. I want you to location scout around your studio, around your town, around your city. I want you to make sure you can shoot safely and maintain social distance. I want you to go and check out the lighting in all of those areas at different times of day. I want you to consider the weather of your country, state, city right now. Obviously, I'm in Los Angeles, so I'm faced with one small problem, and that is a lot of harsh light during the day. But I'm lucky because I have scrims and diffusers, and I can also shoot earlier in the morning and later in the afternoon. I want you to know your area so well so that you can set up a backdrop anywhere. Even a garage door or big sliding door open with a backdrop just inside, but maintaining that social distance, that security, and that safety for your clients. Now, I'm not going to recommend legal, but I am going to recommend that you check out the law tog or maybe speak with your photographer regarding the liability for your state so that you are safe. This is all we can do right now for this new normal and these restrictions. And all I'm asking is that you find a way through this so that you can survive, so that you can thrive, and so that you can get to the other side. I know you might be very genre focused right now on wedding or event or sports or schools, but when your genre is taken away, you have to evolve. And this is your opportunity to evolve and still be able to shoot during this time. So it's time to refocus and get ready.